What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Idea Studio. I'm Dana.
I'm Jip.
And yet again, another week, another live stream. Are we live?
Is it?
Is it? Very much so. So, long week in Bangkok. A lot going on. A little bit of flooding this week. I saw some people post some stuff up from...
On a road?
Yeah. From Sukhumvit, where there was quite a bit of rainy season floods going on.
Mm-hmm.
A lot more than anticipated. Oh, my chair's really low because I was editing. Let me... Oh, now it's lower. All right. The piston's kind of shot on this one, so it takes a minute. Because it's old, not because I'm big, for sure. Right, babe? Any flooding by the palace this week?
On the road outside Palace, a little bit. When it just like pouring rain, that's it.
I saw a few people post photos from Prakanong where it was just like flooded.
Prakanong always.
Yeah, there's like almost a meter of water. Let's jump into the comments real quick. See what we got here this morning. Oh, Chris watching from HK. He's in the hood. Not too far away at all. Just a little island life for him. Out in Hong Kong. Seth, what's going on, man? How's barber school? Eric, what's going on? Maretta, hey.
Hey.
How's things? Yorma, almost time for Bangkok, right? Almost time. Yorma put out a video yesterday talking about he's been in the industry for 25 years in the movie industry as a set dresser, and talking about like how he got involved, like how someone could get involved today, the different towns, everything. It's basically going to be in LA. What do you say, LA, Atlanta, and New York? I mean, of those three, right? Atlanta and LA don't have like really harsh winters, and why would you pick Atlanta when you could pick LA? I mean, New York's cool and all, but man, it gets like you know how like Bangkok gets flooded, you can't go anywhere, right? When New York snows, it's like the equivalent of like Bangkok floods, right? Can't go anywhere, and it just like you slip everywhere, and then there's like piles of snow because there's nowhere to move it. Yeah. One of the big things, like in wintertime, right, like you got to wear like insulated boots to keep your feet warm because your feet get really, really cold walking in the snow. But then like your boots and your pants get all messed up at the bottom because of the snow. Yeah. So it's a rough life. Callum, what's going on, man? Out there in New Zealand, Kiwi Town, hanging. So yeah, a lot of rain hitting us this week, which I thought was a bit crazy.
It's raining season.
Yeah, but I mean it was a lot, right? And then Jib's mom is here for the weekend, so yesterday she cooked a bunch of food, so I overate a little bit. I can say that because whenever mom cooks, there's always a significant amount of food in the house.
She cooked by the size
By the size of what?
of the family member.
Well, she made tom kha, which I love, is my favorite, and then she made this fish, but it kind of looked like, what do you call that fish? Is it like sun dried fish or salt? Like
Which one?
The fish that she made yesterday.
Not a fish cake, right?
No, just like the fish, the
That's
fried fish.
a sun-dried fish.
Yeah, and it's like looks like thick and like it almost looks like, I think the closest thing I could compare it to would be like it looks dry aged, and it looked more like pork actually when it was in the bowl.
The steak meat. It's big fish.
True. Oh yeah, I think San Francisco is always beautiful, right? SF's going downhill Oh yeah. Well, I mean like quality wise, right? Like quality of life wise, San Francisco is definitely going downhill. But like weather wise, it's always nice. Right, but last time I was there, someone did squat against a building and take a crap right in front of me, which is not a experience in daylight. In the broad daylight.
They don't have like a public toilet?
drop their pants, squat against
I
the
mean,
building, and
they don't have a public toilet there.
apparently not. You gotta go with LA. Yeah, I agree. Like based on like the 3 cities that you threw out there, and again, these are 3 cities if you want to like get an industry job in LA or in the movie industry, right? LA, Atlanta, New York, like it's a pretty easy choice unless you have like something specific about one of those cities that you want to be around. Like if you want to be in New York for a certain reason or Atlanta for a certain reason, sure, right? But then LA, I mean, the weather's always good. I don't love LA as a city, but I mean, just based on weather, if I had to pick between the 3, it'd be tough to. Atlanta is kind of like super humid, like Bangkok, and Atlanta is like a really spread out weird. I've been to Atlanta like maybe a dozen times. And it's like I don't know. I find it weird. It's cool and all, but it's not for me. New York, I love, just not in the winter. So, it's kind of easy choice. But LA probably is going to fall into the ocean at some point. The other thing, when you were talking about in your video the challenges of the unions in New York versus LA, right? Because it's like movie. You know what labor unions are, babe?
No.
So labor unions are where a group of people who work for in the same industry, say like electricians, right? Or like right now the Writers Guild, which is a union, is on strike. So all the writers in Hollywood get together and they say, "Oh, we're going to negotiate as a whole because there's like thousands of us." So the guild or the union steps in and negotiates with the studio. So there's a minimum contract for everyone. So they have like this what do they call it? Collective bargaining, right? So that they can all negotiate as a whole and get better results than individuals could one-on-one with the studio. So those are unions, right? And then you pay dues, and then there's all this. It's almost like you're a contractor, but you have the protection of this union, which is almost like working for a company. I'm not an expert in labor relations, so I'm probably messing up a bit on the explanation. So someone correct me if I'm wrong. But like if you're in that industry, that it's an important thing to be part of the union. I guess a beautiful day, right? A little bit of fog rolling in. Erickson's Soma and things ain't right, but how come my rent keeps going up? Who was the guy? There used to be a guy who ran for mayor in New York City, and he would always say his party was the rent is too damn high party. The rent is too damn high. This is an American meme you probably don't get. No. Contextual. The issue of rent being too damn high is an issue we definitely don't have in Bangkok. Though I think some of the rents have really gone up quite a bit.
Maybe the place that near a train.
Yeah. Well, I saw like there was a guy who posted online from Phuket complaining that like he rented his place during COVID and it was like $20K and now they want to charge like $45K.
Oh, because it's like
post-COVID.
people come back.
Yeah. And it's probably, and Phuket seems expensive for what it is.
Always.
Right?
We don't go there.
Yeah. We've been a few times.
Work?
Yeah, for work. But if I was going to vacation, it wouldn't be my first choice. Actually, I think like I would probably pick Penang over Phuket for a trip. What do you think?
I'll just pick Hua Hin.
Okay, but I mean, if you're going to go to an island, right, and you're going to fly somewhere, would you pick Phuket or Penang?
Same for me.
Well, I liked Penang a lot more
because
than Phuket.
fly to Penang is like pay more to fly there.
Yeah, but it's still cheap to go around.
No, remember we go to the corner of the building and taxi get us like 10 ringgit for that.
True.
No meter.
Yeah, well, that one we got ripped off.
Yeah.
But, I mean, that was on us for not knowing. I don't think there was Grab there back then either.
Maybe not.
Yeah. Super sunny winter days here, loving it. 15 degrees, but too hot for extra layers. So, last week you had 3 degrees C, right? Callum in New Zealand, he was posted a photo of like ice on his car.
Ice on the car.
Yeah, like when he woke up, like the dew had frozen on his car, so it was like icy. It was like 3°C, so it was probably below 0 overnight.
Yeah, then you can have ice if it's not. Mom?
Jiv's mom's watching some movie or something on her phone and started going off. Hey, Keone and Kokran, what's going on, brother? Can't wait to make. When are you making the move, Marta? When do you have a time frame? Do you know when you're coming? It's gonna be like, I think for people who are gonna move here, like for Joe right now, he's like counting down the days, right? Yorma's days like a week away, not even. Right, to come out here, that must just be like mental anguish. Like when you're looking forward to it so much, and it's just like, oh, are we ever gonna make it? Are we ever gonna make it? Screen Actors Guild went on strike as well. So the actors, basically the Actors Union, Screen Actors Guild, and the Writers Guild. The Writers Guild went on strike, and I don't know, did the Screen Actors Guild go on strike only to show support for the writers, or are they also trying to negotiate better deals? And a lot of this, from what I read, comes down to streaming rights, because like writers and actors used to get residuals off of, like if you worked on a show, wrote it, or acted in it, that then would go on to syndication.
What's that mean?
Syndication is like, originally the show was on like, say, a network, right? Like, and then you finish the show after like 6, 7, 8 years, and then they sell those episodes in syndication to like cable networks or other smaller networks, so they can show the reruns of the show. Mm-hmm. And then that show will then play. It's like if you were an actor on like Star Trek and you get residuals, like I bet you can watch Star Trek any day of the week in any country almost. So they probably get fat checks for the rest of their life. Like if you were a main actor and you were in like every episode, like Patrick Stewart, who was Captain Picard, he must get like a residual check every day. Like just like tons of money. Now, of course, the amount goes down over years, but like when your show is on everywhere all the time, right, it must be pretty good. Right? Versus like if you do a show that like is on for one season and then like, you know, like no one really watches it. Like maybe it gets picked up or shown on like a rerun network on like some obscure cable or streaming thing. You might get a few dollars. But I remember I watched an interview with a writer who had written for a couple of really big shows in the 90s. And he basically said like those shows have like funded him to be able to like do other projects, paid for his house, like all this stuff, because he wrote for them for so long, and he got residuals on his work. And with streaming, like the payouts are different. Like I watched a video with a independent filmmaker the other day whose movie got picked up for Netflix, and at one point in a few countries his movie was like #1, and he said his total cash from Netflix was like $30.
What?
Yeah. Like from views. So the money is very different, right? And I think that's what they're trying to negotiate is like
that's sad.
The difference in streaming. Yeah, so imagine like, you know, and he funded the movie himself, right? I don't know if he got cash up front when he sold it or what the deal was, but I do know that he said it cost like tens of thousands of dollars to get it ready to go to Netflix, because he was required to pay I don't know if I'm explaining it right, but a third-party company to do like soundtrack and subtitles. They prepare the movie to go to streaming. Mm-hmm. So, and then that company delivers it, and he was forced to pay them up front to handle that delivery. And like he didn't have the option to do it himself. And yeah, so like imagine 1,000 baht after like years of work, and then you know, you sell it and it's seen by thousands of people. 1,000 baht.
That's sad.
Uncle Craig, what's going on up in the Bangkok, my friend?
How's the weather there?
Are you getting floods? Are you getting crazy rain up in the Kampeng Pet? Seth says second week of barber school is good. Nice. Very cool. So still in that early sort of academic phase, he was saying a lot of theory and stuff early on. Marta says, is Koh Chang cheaper? Never been, but might check it out in February 2024. Is it cheaper than Phuket?
I think so because the
Yeah.
beach is not that nice, the same as Phuket, and like it's smaller, so it's more look like a local place, more local.
Well, I would say the beach.
Restaurant and bar is not like fancy like Phuket.
I've never been either. I've been by the pier that goes to it when me and Chris did the Sukhumvit trip. Is because it's down towards like Trat Province, right? And like you see the signs for it on Sukhumvit when you're down that way. And I guess it's like a pier that you go to and it takes you to the
Yeah, I
island.
went there.
Oh, you been there?
Yeah,
To Koh Chang or just to that
Koh
part?
Chang.
Okay. So you don't think the beaches are nice?
No, it's not nice. It's
Okay.
not like white sand. It's like small rocks,
Okay.
small one like round and black.
It's in the how far is it off the coast? Is it pretty far?
Like we took ferry with car in it. I don't know how long, maybe half an hour to
Okay.
go there.
They're not super far.
Not that far, but like when it's high season, like a long weekend, you have to wait to cross the ferry. That's the pain.
Yeah.
So for you, Marata, you can pick like weekday to go there. So there's no waiting. You're just like, okay, go to the crossing time and then you're in. No problem.
And February is like the end of high season, so maybe it won't be as busy. Yeah. One of the things that I think is like nice about like the Gulf islands, though, at least the ones I've been to, is that the water is always much calmer. I mean, so it's like kind of easy to go swim. There's not in Phuket. There was a few times when we've been to like on Surin Beach, the waves were like kind of really
Yes.
high, which is great if you're surfing. But one of the things do you remember there was like a rock in the middle of the beach and the waves kind of like would crash over it and hide it and then it would be exposed? Like, so there's a few things like that where I was like, oh, wow. But I think in like anything that I've been to in the Gulf, it's not crazy choppy, so it's kind of easy to go out swimming. Yorma says, we're going to check out Hoi Hin when we're in Thailand. It sounds like a nice town. Yeah,
Yes.
it's okay.
It's like mostly English support
Mm.
for sure. You can find like a fine dining restaurant with like good red wine, or you just walk to a local restaurant, like eat without AC. It's nice too. And there are big night markets there, and the Shikoda market, or many places to visit.
The first time I saw that I've been to Hoi Hin, I've stopped in a few times, like never really stayed there, but it feels like a retirement town.
I like it there.
Like it kind of feels like Florida in that way. Like you're on like the west coast of Florida, and like I kind of expect people to drive by in golf buggies and golf
So like
carts.
when my family and I still went there, like visit there, it's like we woke up in the morning and that would drive to the market, like local market, and we will have like a like old time coffee, like they
Cafe Boran.
yes, and with like soy eggs and fried dough and some like salapao. So that's like easy, nice morning, and then we go somewhere else and walk on the beach. Like it's nice and calm for
Nice.
sure. But now it's changed as like they make the city for like tourists, like more tourists and more foreigners. So they change like how the shop look. I think now they look much different from like 30 years ago than when I remember. It's like old shop gone. Like they renovate almost every building, which is it's kind of like no charming, but it's still nice.
I
It's
think
like little Bangkok.
like a lot of people go to Cha-am, right? That's like the next town
It's before Hua Hin.
before Hoi Hin. And I think the beaches out on that on the Gulf Coast are very nice. Like if you get a chance to go out that way, it's not
Or
bad.
you might try Sattahip.
Where's that? Set the heat.
It's on Chonburi side,
Okay.
and it's nice. And it's on like a army base,
Oh, really?
so it's quite regulate. So it's nice. So they take care of like vendor.
Okay, so it's like not wild. Like you go to the beach. Remember, like I loved like Surin Beach in Phuket, but like remember the vendors are like all over the place.
Yeah, I think like it's different. Like
Yeah.
if you go to the beach that inside the Air Force, it's different.
The few times I've been to like Pattaya too, it's like you go on the beach and you're
Different.
just bombarded by like
No.
yeah no. Hey, Karen in Ontario, it's 25 degrees there.
C or Fahrenheit.
So it's gonna be C, right?
Okay.
Because it's still summer.
Okay. Who know? That's
20. Yeah, no. In Canada, 20 summertime. It's not gonna be 25.
That's Canada.
No, not in summer. A few more months, maybe. A few more months, it might be like, 25 would be like minus. What's that? -5, -6. Kellum, 3 degrees in the morning a couple times last week, but making the most of a warm 3 hours, 12 to 3. Yeah, because they're below the equator, right? They're winter, straight winter right now, and then when it's wintertime up north, then it's their summer. So for them, like Christmas is like middle of summer.
that's like well then Santa Claus must wear tank top there, right?
Tank top, shorts, and thongs.
Yeah.
Right, that's what they call the flip flops. He probably drives a Ute as well. A Ute sleigh, utility vehicle sleigh. Okay, are you going back? Are you going for that same project with your guy? Are they doing a season 2? To move there, roughly 1.5 to 2 years time, but we're planning on heading in February for about 3 weeks. Nice.
Oh, okay.
February is a great time to visit, right? It's still like it's getting warmer, right? Because you're not at like that April May weather yet, right? But it's still nice and cool. The weather's beautiful. It's calm. No rain. Yeah. Ooh, 1.5. It must feel like a long 1.5, 2 years, though. I imagine, Maretta. Like when you know you're planning out that far. I think AI is a big issue too. Really? How so, Eric? The actor's contract expired 2 months after the. Oh, okay. All the unions' contracts are struggling, so everyone doesn't strike at the same time. Or staggered. Sorry, can't read this morning. So all of them are staggered, but yeah, now you got 2 on strike. I know sometimes unions that work together will strike sort of in, or they'll do things like in support of each other, right? So, like I remember Yorma did a video from the protests, or he live streamed actually from the protests in front of the studio. And he was basically saying, like, a lot of the unions won't deliver to the studios. They won't cross the picket lines in support of the other unions. So the studios are kind of in a tough spot. And I saw the unions, not the unions, the studio had trees that sort of lined the edge of the studio and shaded the sidewalk. And they pruned all the trees, cut all of the branches off, so there was no shade for the people on strike. And then someone said that they did a Freedom of Information Act request with the city, and showed that the studios had never pulled the permits to actually cut the trees, so they did it illegally. just to, and the studio, no, it's part of maintenance, and it turns out no, it wasn't. Wasn't planned. They did it to mess with the strikers.
Not nice.
No. But I mean, that's what. So I used to work. I worked in telecom for years and years for a company a private company, and they were always afraid of unions, and they would bring in. I'm sure they paid millions of dollars to anti-union consultants. Whenever there was people talking about union, they would like be holding these meetings, tell you like, oh, you have such a good job. If the unions come, your job will be ruined. You won't be able to do this. You won't be able to do that. Like, we won't be able to talk to you. They would spend all this money on propaganda and scare tactics to try to get people not to vote for union. So like, companies really don't like it because it gives them less control over the way they like pay people and negotiate salaries and things like that. So, I mean, when I worked for Cox, yeah, they paid millions and millions of dollars for consultants, and they would like have like, you could tell like all the managers all of a sudden would be on like the same like messaging. They would say the exact same things. They all sounded like robots. Like, oh, don't do this. If you don't talk about it like that, and they would try very hard to make people not unionize. So I can understand, like, from the studio's perspective, they're probably doing the same thing. They're trying to get people to like not give them a hard time, or to try to fold to the pressure so they get a better deal. It's a very interesting system. A lot of it started because laborers used to be like miners or factory workers, had very dangerous work conditions, and they unionized so that they could negotiate for better work conditions and pay. Right? We're like, yeah, we don't want to work in factories that are going to burn down and kill us.
Then they change the job.
Well, if you think about like industrial revolution or pre-industrial revolution, that wasn't always an option. And a lot of the factory owners, they were trying to get as much profit as possible. And like the laws weren't in place to, like, if someone died on the job, you didn't have to pay a ton of money. You're just like, get their body out in the trash type of thing. Right? So they've definitely played an important role in labor relations in America and probably around the world. So where were we? Karen was asking if Martha's going to stick to one area. Martha said they're going to travel around. Karen says, considering Chiang Mai for a month or so, they definitely picked the right month. That's important. Chiang Mai is their summers are brutal, and the burning season is intense, I would say.
Yes.
Yeah, so air quality can
Whoever
be the worst
like
in the
live
world.
there in Chiang Mai and if they don't have to stay there full time, so when the burning season comes, they just move to Phuket.
Yeah, a lot of them do, or Krabi, something like that. But yeah, Chiang Mai is nice. I definitely would like just make sure you're not going like midsummer and you're not going burning season. Nice and cool up here. Only sprinkles of rain, really.
Huh.
Lots of water in the government canals.
Oh, that's
wow.
good.
My new palm bridge is nearly touching the water. Damn. Wow. So no drought for you. No crazy rain and tons of water in the canals.
You're lucky.
Yeah, good. That's decent. Is it usually like that this time of year? Like, do you guys not get hit super hard with rainy season, Uncle Craig? But never been to Hoi Hin. Probably worth I mean, if you get the chance, right? Worth to visit. Like, if you get the time.
It's not far from Bangkok.
Yeah, I mean, I think you can take the train there, right? In like a few hours from Southern Station, babe. Or does everything leave from Bang Seo now?
I'm not sure. Have to check because last time the Bang Seo one not fully open.
'Cause I think is the station like where we went to Ta Shalom from. Is that still open?
Ta Shalom lah. That one open because it's the local. It's short route.
Oh.
It's not connected to Hua Lamphong.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's I really love that station. It's so cool. Like that's like and it's not as cool as Hollempong's like this like iconic architecture in the city, but these little local stations where like literally it's like just in the middle of a soy. And then there's like a little rail station, all the little vendors set up and
Yeah, market around.
yeah, little cats hanging out. Never been to Hoi Hin. That's what you heard. Yeah, a lot of people like it. I know a few people who live there. They all kind of dig that sort of retired vibe that they've got going on there. It's a much more. It is built. It does feel too built up, but to me it has like you've never been to Florida, babe. But and the only things you know of Florida are the crazy stuff I send you from TikTok. So. Whenever I send something to Jib about Florida from TikTok, she's like, "What? That's not real, right?" But yeah, it feels like sort of just like this built up place that built up too quick, and it's kind of like a manufactured sort of city.
It's not built up too quick. It's an old town too, but it just changed like how it's look.
Mm. Yeah, well, your aunt owns a condo there, right?
Yeah,
In Hoi Hin or on the outside?
หัวหินจ้ะ
See, what Uncle Craig said, we'll be in Wayne the 8th through the 12th at the Hilton. My birthday is the 9th. In Wayne? Oh, Hoi Hin. Was that autocorrect? Hoi Hin to Wayne? What kind is less than 1.5 hours from me? You likely through my city to get there. Oh, I'm gonna be in the hood. Eric was in Samroy
300 ยอด
south of Hoi Hin for a
It's
bit
a
last
national
trip.
park.
I like it, but it's quiet and slow. Okay with me. Quiet and slow. It depends on what you like. If I leave Bangkok, quiet and slow is a good thing.
Eric, did you walk up to the top of the hill?
Are there monkeys there? I feel like this is like a monkey place.
No, from what I remember, the part that I went, there's no monkey, but there's the like hiking route that you walk up there, and then you walk to the cave, and you will see like the old cottage that the King Rama
Oh.
V visit.
Oh, is that
did you
his-
arrive there, Eric?
Was that his old palace in that area?
It's not palace. It's
Oh.
just like he visit there.
His
and
vacation home?
No, it's just like picnic, and people built like a cottage there for him to stop and sit.
Callan spent the night in Hoi Hin on his last trip. It was weird how the beach in the main city was virtually inaccessible. Really, hotels had access, and that was about it. Really, so there's all the beach access was controlled by hotels. That's interesting. There must have been a way to get to it.
There would be like a small soy, like side soy that you can walk through. But it depends if like hotel own like the land like whole front. How can you access to the beach? Cannot. But if you walk from somewhere else and gonna walk past it, I believe you can walk. But to go to the beach, that you have to pass the hotel lobby, they might ask, are you guests?
So how does it work in Thailand? Can a hotel control access to a beach? Can they like own a beach as private? Or
No,
no,
cannot,
Okay.
because it's a public place. But the thing is, if they own like the whole block of the road, I mean the land next to the road, that's you have to walk past it to
You
the
gotta
beach.
find a way, yeah.
Then you cannot cut through the hotel, but there will be the small soy that you can walk through. It's gonna be like between hotel and the house, someone's house, and there is a small soy that you can walk past it. No one gonna block you,
Gotcha.
but you have to find that place. You walk and you get to the beach, and you can enjoy it, but of course you cannot use like the beach chair or the thing that facility that hotel set up. Yeah, but I believe you can walk.
Actually, one time I was doing a photo shoot in Pattaya, and we went down to do photos on the beach, and there was like you said, there was like a little soy that you went down, and it took you to the beach, but there was like resorts on both sides
Yeah.
of that soy, but you could see like they sort of marked where their property was. So like there, like all the concrete comes right up to the sand, and you could basically walk anywhere on the sand, but the concrete was all, it would say like, like Hilton guests only or whatever, like whatever the resort's name was, I can't remember. And they had like you said, the chairs and the bungalows and everything. Yeah.
You didn't pay for it, so
Yeah.
you cannot use it.
But the beach was nice for sure. So Martha's been to Surin Beach 2 years ago.
Ah.
We went for one of our friends when she turned 60. We went down for her birthday, and it was nice area. Definitely nicer than Patong.
Oh, of
Right.
course.
Right, I mean, when we went to Patong, I thought the beaches were lackluster at best, and then what's that party road that goes down to the beach there with all the clubs? It might even be called Beach Road in Patong. Like where the fights were on that club, and then that street that we walked down to get to the beach.
I don't know.
And then there was like a little mall across the street from the clubs. It felt very commercial.
Is that Central?
Is that Central Phuket?
Central Jangsilon or something.
It's definitely this. If it's Central, it's the smallest Central we've ever been to. Thoughts on Jake Paul versus Nate Diaz? I don't even know anymore, man. These influencer fights, like Jake Paul's a YouTuber who keeps fighting like retired MMA fighters in
For what?
boxing. They make a ton of money, so
Okay.
I think they're both going to make a lot of money. That's what I think about
Okay.
it. Jake Paul, he beat two former MMA champions, Tyron Woodley, who was former UFC welterweight champion, and Ben Askren, who was undefeated in one championship for like 10 years. And was their welterweight/middleweight champion. So, you think like they were both retired when they fought him though, and they fought in boxing, not MMA. But yeah, But the amount of money they're gonna make for that fight, can't.
Is it enough to fix their body?
Like millions and millions of dollars,
Okay,
man.
then fine. Even can fix a brain.
Murta was in Samui this February. What did you think of Samui? I know Chris loves Samui. He that's his like favorite place. No, it's for Moko Wanga Wang. God, I'm gonna say that wrong. Oh, tattoo gathering. Not sure. That was I need to renew my retirement visa. Trying to work things out. Is the retirement visa easier to have than the marriage visa, Keone? You would clearly qualify for either. I'm just curious why pick one over the other, if one is easier or not. Eric says both the writers and actors were worried about it. AI can actually write, and actors can be AI. Oh, yeah.
Ah.
So I saw that there was something about the studios wanting to be able to scan background actors and then use them forever. I don't know that AI still, yes, it can write, but it still takes quite a bit of input to work with. I've used ChatGPT quite a bit for some work stuff, and it definitely is impressive, but you have to have like a very good understanding with it. I'm not sure you could write a script. Well, you could. I'm not sure you could write a very good one. Which apparently, like a lot of the Hollywood movies lately, it doesn't seem like good is necessarily a qualification for the writing. So, some of the stuff that we've seen come out, definitely like some of like the direct to Netflix stuff, like the cheaper things, maybe a script isn't that big a deal. You just have it. So yeah. No, yeah, okay, I see what you mean. I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I think as an actor, from an actor's perspective, I would be more concerned just because of the AI ability to sort of, especially background actors. Like, I know Yorma said in his video too, he started out as like a non-union background extra, like someone who was just in the background. And like if you could just take those people, scan them, and then Yorma shows up in like 10 movies one year, but didn't get paid for any of them, that would be bad. Right? If like your likeness is in the background. And then it's also, if you think about like, let's say you are a very good actor and you start out just as an extra to get exposure in the industry, work your way into SAG, things like that. And you get a job as a bigger actor, but then as a lead actor, but then they find out like, oh, you've been scanned by this other studio and you can be used in the background of any of their movies. Like, so even if we put you as a lead in a movie, people will feel like they can see you as a background actor in all these other places. So it might like devalue the actor's ability for their uniqueness, you know? It'd be like it with your art, right? Like if you paint a certain style and then someone scans it into AI and like, oh, I just use AI to make Jib's style of painting. Would kind of suck, right?
It's not gonna be Jeep style anyway.
No, but if they teach the AI how to do your style and
I
then
know,
the AI
but
generates
that one
it.
is like ancient style.
No, but I'm
We
saying if you had your
painted.
own, like, as you develop your own sort of style and voice with it.
Can, but I think AI cannot paint it for real, so
Yeah.
that's the difference. You can print it, but it's
Can't-
not on the wood board with the white clay and a tamarind glue
This is true.
and no real gold on it. That's a different.
Not yet. No one's made that machine yet. Cam's just saying give him a shot if he needs anything. WH in Maori language has an F sound. Ah, so facante was always funny word. Okay. So in Maori language, WH is f. It's okay. That's interesting. But language is funny like that. I think about like, all of the like sounds in Thai that we don't have in English, and then vice versa, like the sounds that you say you struggle with when you were learning. Right. So that makes sense. I mean, everyone, but to write F sound with WH is kind of interesting way to put it down. You can ask AI to write a movie script in the style of Coen Brothers set in Hawaii, and it'll come up with something interesting. Maybe that's the direction we're going. Keone's been there 3 years ago. You were just in New Zealand this year too, right? Or last year? I think this year. You were there. Might have been last year. All right, have a good night, Maretta. Thanks for popping in. Where we at? Paul Apps. I lived in Khao Takaib area of Hoi Hin for 6 months. It's quite...
Khao Ta Kiap.
It's quiet, beach is nice, lots of monkeys. It has some nightlife if you need it. So I don't want to live anywhere with monkeys, personally. After like, you see the gangster monkeys in Lopburi. Last thing I want is to be messing with gangster monkeys.
Yeah, so now business there closed. Like business that close to the old temple there because too many monkeys. They cannot open the shop, so they just close the
Gangster
building.
monkeys. Like, we have to be very clear. Not just normal monkeys. We're talking about gangster monkeys. Like hardcore, like Thai mafia monkeys. Rocking amulets and sakyans to just stealing stuff from everyone. Ripping cars apart. Utes on the side of the road stripped down to nothing. Beating people up. These monkeys are serious business in Lopburi. You just search on the videos, you'll see it. Like, I remember when I lived in Patumtani in Bangadi. One time I was in the bathroom at my lab, and a monkey came in under the bathroom stall. First time I'd ever seen a monkey in person. I would say scared the shit out of me, but I was already on the toilet, so most of it was out. But just scared me, right? And like it just looked at me like.
You're bigger than it.
But I'd never seen one before. And I was in
It's
the toilet.
monkey.
I had my pants down on the toilet.
It's not gonna
Like,
pick anything from you.
you don't know. But it took off. But like I didn't even know they had monkeys in Pathum Thani. I don't know where this monkey came from. I've never seen one in this part of the country since. Like in central Thailand. I've never seen. I guess Lopburi
Maybe
would be
someone
central.
like has it as a pet,
Maybe.
and it's just like
Got away.
Yeah.
Running around the university labs. I don't know. To me, it's like it's okay. Like monkeys are cool, they're nightlife, but I don't like. How does a city just let them get so out of control? I mean, there's very little they can do, I guess, right? If the monkeys decide that they're going to take over the city, that unless you're willing to go and like capture or kill them all, not much you can do.
Actually, there's a law for that monkey that you cannot kill it, and you
Okay.
cannot raise it too. So it's kind of reserve animal
Okay.
that you cannot do anything with it.
Are those the same monkeys that pick the coconuts?
Maybe, I'm not sure.
Is it coconuts or something? It's coconuts, right? They
but,
pick the
but
coconuts.
now no one use monkey for coconut. That's just for show.
Oh, really? I thought they still used them at some of the
No.
southern plantations.
Well, there are some NGO or other people try to make a video that Thai coconut industry still use monkey, which is there's a video from the like I'm not sure it's at the Roy Thai or other company that like they made a video of like how they now make the coconut tree shorter that they not grow tall like before, like just keep growing. It's short, and it's like they have they planted on a small canal that the way they collect it, they just like float by the water
Oh,
and
you
have the
shake it and let it
long
float,
like
yeah.
a sharp stick that they just like cut it. They just use that stick to cut, and quicker they can harvest more than they use the monkey.
Ah.
So it's like it's nonsense to use monkey. Just like how many monkeys do they need to pick all this coconut in one day?
That's true. You need an
that's-
army.
People just make it like drama, like Thai use a monkey, Thai use an elephant, Thai use whatever, to make it like we cannot sell stuff.
I don't. Elephants don't still do logging, right? Or do they?
We don't have any tree to cut.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, there's no logging is protected usually.
Yeah, so what are we gonna use elephant for? So just for tourists, for show. That's it.
Interesting, but yeah, I mean that makes sense with the canals. Let the coconuts float versus just you would need
So
like a
let's
Planet of the
say
Apes style army of monkeys.
People in the world to see whatever the media make they can see. If they don't visit the place, they don't see the real thing.
Indeed. Eric didn't go up the hill. It was too hot.
No, we should try.
Beautiful cliffs and limestone formations there, though. Nice and jungly
Next
as well.
time you walk up there, you will enjoy that. In the cave, it's cold and it's nice. You will see the light go through like the whole up top.
Paul said he walked the entire beach in Hoi An, accessible through the side soys. So yeah, I guess as long as you have access to the beach, right, you can't really stop someone from walking the coastline. That's the same in Hawaii. Public access to the beach. Some private landowners try to block it, but the law allows it. George Harrison had a lawsuit against it. He lost. Okay, I know some places like where they try to own like resorts would buy like areas where there were like sort of like it was a cove, and like there was no like walking access to the beach, and people would still be able to like paddle over though, and like hang on the beach because the beach is technically public.
Yeah. If you do that, I think you can do.
Bangla Road in Patong. Okay. Callum, how you know that? You go there a lot? Bangla Road, yeah. Jib, you ever find yourself thinking in English or do you mostly think in Thai?
So if I'm gonna speak English, and I think in English, because it's a different way to arrange a sentence in Thai and English. So if I think in Thai, it's difficult to say it in English.
So actually, I want to ask you about this because I saw this doctor, British doctor who I follow on YouTube, talk about the difference. Different people think differently. Some people have an internal dialogue and some do not. Right? So like when you think, do you actually have a voice in your head?
Yeah,
Me too. Right?
Like-
How about you guys? Like,
to think and like arrange it
Yeah.
before I say it to make sure it's like right, like understand able.
is the voice in your head the same as your voice?
I don't know. I just think it's like a word.
Uh,
Like, is that correct? Like, put this and that, like, there. Or I change this word. Is it easier to understand?
so
Something like that.
Yeah, like let me guys let us know in the comments. Do you have an inner like voice, like a monologue, like do you hear like narration in your head? So I do. Like when I think about something or like when I'm working out process, I have like there's like a voice that narrates the ideas in my head. And I think it's my voice, but it also feels like separate from me. So you have the
It's
same.
controlled by your brain.
Yeah.
Not you speak it out.
Yeah, exactly. It's not like it doesn't like have its own ideas to me and like it doesn't talk to me. It's just like, but it's like I hear that voice in my head.
So like when I read, like, and I not read it out, I just look at it and like repeat in my head.
Yeah.
I just like control my brain to read it and like read it, like make a noise in my head, like
Yeah. It's the same. When
This
I
is
read,
what-
I hear it read to me in my head. Oh, so Kieran said told that they're constantly check if you're really married. A lot more paperwork for. Okay, they do like every year. Jim and I have to prove that we're married. We have to take photos like sitting on our bed, holding hands. Like I try to make them fun every year, and Jim's always like, no, too.
No, they don't want the fun photo. They wanted like serious photo.
Yeah.
Which is fun for us. Like,
Yo, Joe,
no.
what's going on?
Hi, Joe.
How you doing, man? Oh, we'll show an update of your art soon. Let's talk about the head dialogue first. And Jib made some real progress on this. I think you'll love where she's at. They just changed the elite visa. The 5 to 20-year upgrade offer expires on the 15th. Oh, they announced on August 2nd. Really sketchy behavior. And they announced that after the prices are going way up. Damn. Hey. That sucks, but I think people had to know that that wasn't gonna last forever. Like the elite is like,
It's just like some amount of year, right? They don't like.
yeah, it's like 5, 10, or
Lifelong.
20. Yeah, I think they used to offer lifetime and like,
If you get it from that time,
Yeah.
it's good.
yeah. Assuming they don't cancel it. Oh, Keone likes your shirt.
Thank
This week's shirt.
you.
This is from Jib's
This
batch.
one you cannot have because only student in my batch have it. This is like teacher design. So to Singha. Because we went to school in the Tiger year. So that's us to Singha here.
Nice. Joe says the black t-shirt's better.
Joe.
Oh, one tutorial. Hey, long time no see.
Black
So-
t-shirt is hot นะ
He says the land of debauchery, Bangla Road. That's Bangla
บาง
Road.
คล้าไหมบาง
the one in
บาง
Phuket.
ลาบางลาเนอะ
Yeah.
ทำไมดีฮะ
Long time no see. One tutorial. Thai guy from UK.
จ้ะ
Big literary fan too, I
How is
believe.
food there? Do you like British food?
No one likes British food. British people don't even like British food.
Um,
That's why like Indian food's
I
like the
mean,
number
like-
one food in
I
their
mean, like-
country.
They have to eat it every day. So why don't they like adjust the recipe to make it nice?
I don't know.
It's weird.
The
Like
UK seems like a funny place.
I mean, original recipe. If they think like it's not tasty, why don't they change it a little bit.
I don't know. A lot of them still have that colonizer mindset. They just went places and took their food. Keone, I think it's interesting as they state that they want more well-to-do people getting long-term visas, so they raise the price, which attracts wealthy, organized crime people. Cost will not detract them. Yeah, true. I mean, I think like it's the whole thing with like the elite. I think it's a great program for people, but again, it streamlines the process. If you have the cash, that's nice. But there's also certain things like it does eliminate possibilities of certain other things. So you were, unless it's changed, like you were limited on like certain things. But if you're here, if you're a wealthy individual that you don't need to work, it's not really that much of an issue for you. One tutorial says he doesn't especially like Patong Beach per se, but I love watching uninhibited beachgoers enjoying themselves there. I know what you mean. It is an interesting place to people watch. Indeed. Let's see. FA, what's going on, man? How's things? Joe has many voices in his head. Okay, Joe. Which one's right? Keone says, sometimes I really need to think in English, as English is not my first language. English is really hard. Okay. Yeah, English is definitely, from what I understand, like to learn a language, English is very difficult. Grammatically,
To make it
sound-wise.
correct, it's difficult, but just to use it, they say, yeah, just say it.
Over 50% of people have the internal monologue. Okay, so we're not in the minority then. So what do people who don't have the internal monologue think like? Thought is mostly as if a conversation with self, but also we think in images as well. So so I can see images in my mind, but like most of the time, like when I'm thinking about something or problem solving, it's definitely like a monologue going on. Like how about like do you like back and forth with yourself in your mind?
Huh?
Like when you think, are you like passing ideas back and forth in your mind?
I don't think so.
No? Okay. Seth says, yes, I think in a voice in my head, that's my voice sometimes. If I'm in deep thought, I may see my thoughts instead of narration. Oh, interesting. Yeah, I'm not sure. Like, I thought about this the other day. I'm not sure that it is my voice. Like, I think it is, but sometimes, like, it may not be. It doesn't necessarily sound like I think of myself. Like, the first time you hear yourself on recording or, like, you hear your voice back to you and it feels different?
Yeah, I don't like.
It's funny because now, like, I'm so used to it because I edit, like, all the videos that we do. So it's like I hear my voice all the time. And it sounds normal to me now when I edit it. But that sounds different than the voice I hear in my head of myself. Yeah. Interesting. Eric says the elite was 600,000 baht. Which level, though? There were multiple levels. 600K is not... Like, if it's the 20 year at 600, that's not horrible.
I don't think that's 20.
No, I don't think it's 20 years, though. Hey, Dominic, what's going on? The annual marriage visa application is always a big thing, but it gets easier each time we go. I don't know that it's ever easier, but it's definitely a pain. Thailand Elite announced earlier this year there would be changes this year. You're right, Dana. It was lifetime when it started 20 years ago with additional benefits. I wonder, like, does anyone know someone who has the lifetime? Like, I've met people who have the 5 and the 10. I've never met anyone with a lifetime one.
I think that time is like million baht.
1 million baht for 20 years
Lifetime.
ago for a lifetime visa. 1 million baht's
I
not
think-
bad. Yeah.
They try to bring like rich people here
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
so they can throw like 1 million for like a VIP service from airport to that place and like I don't know, don't have to deal with a visa and then 90 days, something like that.
British people find salt spicy.
No.
It's funny because most British people I know really do have like very finicky eating habits, and like they complain a lot about food. That being said, some of the most adventurous eaters I know are British people. So like I know a couple Brits who will eat basically anything, and spicy, seasoned, like what is that, cow kidney? Sure, let me try. Right, they'll eat anything, but that's not the majority at all. Most of them are like, they come here and they're like, oh, I only want to eat Western food. Then why'd you come here? Like you came to a country with great food and you're like, oh, I want to eat like fish and chips every day. Go home. Right? But like a few of the people who I know who are like very, very, what?
The rate.
Will Jim get hungry this week? You found one of the Easter eggs in the crawler. There's a couple in there. Every week I change it. Actually, I think last week it said if I let Jim get hungry, she'll beat me. But yeah, I think some of the British people I know. Are you looking for something to beat me with?
Looking for something to cut your beard.
Oi. But yeah, like some British people are very finicky. Some are very adventurous. But for the most part, like, yeah, most of them find salt spicy. How about in New Zealand, Callum? Do you guys have a very diverse palate? Or are you more like British people in the way you, like, on the majority of the population eat? I know not you specifically. Joe has 3 voices in his head: 1 Tommy Lee Jones, 2 Stormy Daniels, and 3.
Why Tommy Lee Jones?
That's a good voice to have in your head. One tutorial only eats to survive in the UK. Is there any good Thai food in the UK? One tutorial. I'm curious.
Expensive.
Yeah, it's gotta be. Is in the US in Cleveland? There's like $25 pad Thai.
Yeah.
And pad Thai with like, I was telling someone this the other day. Like in the US, they have like Jim's taking off. So someone told me about this place. It's like Chipotle in the US. Chipotle is like a burrito place where you go. Remember the place? Oh yeah, can you hit that one, babe? Thank you. That's why I always forget to shut this one off when we start. Oh, much better. Evens out the color much more, less shadow. Do you remember the burrito place that used to be in Central World where you just pick everything and they put it in and they wrap it and you get your food?
That I think that shop is no longer.
Yeah, they went out of business. But Chipotle is like that in America, except the burritos are baby sized. They're like this big.
It's hard, but
Like,
no.
Yeah. Like
That's
this.
for family.
No, one person. So there's noodle shops in America now.
He sent the location.
So there are noodle shops in America that are similar style. So you walk up to the counter and you say, which noodle do you want? Soba, pad Thai, ramen, mama, right? And like, so you could pick pad Thai noodles. They throw it in a bowl. And then they say, what protein do you want? And you can say steak.
No.
And they put the steak in the bowl.
No.
And then like, what veggies?
That's not right.
And then you pick the veggies you want. It's like Subway for noodles.
Yes, Subway understand, but don't do this for noodles.
And then you go to the next shop and they say, what sauce do you want on your noodles? So you pick pad Thai noodles with steak. Oh, I'll get the shoyu sauce. And they squirt that all over you.
That's crime.
So.
Oh no.
Jib takes her pad Thai very seriously.
That's
but
crime.
I mean, imagine like, and that will cost like 400 baht.
400 baht and you eat like my cooking? You mean?
It's not even hot, right? It's like all the stuff is like. Oh, maybe they keep the noodles hot.
I can make a mess something like that and cost less than that if you want to eat.
Maybe it's hot. Maybe they keep it in like a steam tray. I've just seen pictures of it. But imagine like someone getting pad thai noodles with steak and shoyu sauce.
I can cook that.
For sure, you could cook that. I think I told you in America, it's like not uncommon to get like pad thai with chicken. Like it's a very common dish, and it'll be like $25.
And then when tourists come to Thailand, they complain why there is no chicken in pad thai.
Yeah, I've seen people complain about
I
that.
will open a restaurant and I will cook original pad thai, and when someone asks that, I will kill them.
You refuse to serve them. No pad thai for you.
Like, go away. Should I educate people for that? Well, maybe I have to go back to girls' school in the palace
And
to
learn
get
to cook?
certificate. Like I get certificate from the palace for Thai food. So do not even fight me with that.
You think that, but you think that like the embroidery program and the painting program were difficult time-wise? Just wait until you do cooking and you're up at 2 a.m. every day to go shopping.
Yeah. But if that made me qualify to say to people, shut up, don't put ketchup in pad thai, then I would do it.
Badass Jim fighting over pad thai.
Yeah.
Caleb has got a good point. People that eat jellied eels don't deserve culinary respect.
What's that?
There's a dish in, what's up with mushy peas? Like I had I ordered like a food from it was like a British dish. It came with mushy peas, and it was literally just mashed peas, and they were watery and like no flavor. Is that what it's supposed to taste
Maybe
like?
there's a shortage of potatoes, so they use pea instead.
But it was like there was no flavor to it. It was just like peas that were no salt, nothing.
And then you add salt by yourself.
But I mean, like it should be salted as a dish to at least give it flavor.
Just add salt and pepper by yourself.
had
That's
to,
on
but-
a table for
Yeah.
sure.
Paul says he has an internal monologue when he reads for pleasure. I use the voice in my head, not for technical reading. Oh, interesting. When I read like fictional books, I often assign different voices to the characters as I read. I would think Thai would be way harder to learn than English, especially all the different tones.
Yes.
The tones are, because there's an aspect to the tones that you have to learn to hear, but grammatically, English is much more complicated, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure, like the grammar of English is way more difficult than the grammar of Thai. Come on. You don't think so?
Are you sure?
From what I've seen, yes. Grammatically.
Maybe you didn't see like the bird Thai.
I'm just saying, for me, like when I studied Thai, like the grammar of Thai is much more.
That's a basic Thai that you start to study.
But I'm just saying, it's much more. It's easier than basic English. Like,
You have like a 9 or 12 tense, right?
yeah,
But we play with words more than that.
contextually. But I mean, that's not like a proper Thai. That's like just like colloquial. I wonder who's talking to you in their data. Who knows? Someone. 600K is for the 5-year.
5 year.
And you still have to renew that every year, right? It's not like you get a 5-year stamp in your passport and you're good for 5 years. You still have to go back every year and get the stamp. I've heard it said that the mind is just another sense organ like taste, touch, etc. Think of dreaming. Your dream includes emotions, images, dialogue. That's possible. I used this thing recently called the Neurovisor, which is like a series of LEDs, and you put headphones on, it plays music, and the LEDs flash, and you start to see. It was described to me as supposing to be like a really vivid, like psychedelic experience, but it was interesting. I don't know that I would push it to that level as a psychedelic type thing, but it definitely like activated something in your mind that makes things visual. Oh, heavy! You know a few people with the Lifetime Elite. Interesting.
Ooh.
Do you know was it $1 million baht when they bought it, and how long ago did they get it? 86,000 steps away from $1 million. Nice, Joe.
So just 2 days for you to walk?
Yeah. Very basic. That might even be a day for Joe. One long day. Kundana, you're one of us now. They should no longer ask you and Kun Jib to take photos together. Kapun Krap, one tutorial I appreciate. Someday, hopefully, we get to the point where I don't have to do the visa and I have the citizenship.
Someday.
Hopefully. Hey, babe, do you want to show...
When you start to say ngongu right.
Rarua.
Aroria.
Do you want to show... actually, before we show the painting, do you want to show the embroidery you brought home?
Oh, you mean the pillow?
No, the picture. The king symbol.
Oh.
So Jib just got back. Some of her work was on display at the Royal Academy for a while. So she just brought this piece back. Before we show the update on Joe's painting, let's show this. This is a beautiful piece, so I'm going to clear so everyone can see. This is, I think, one of Jib's best pieces, even though it's probably the smallest. There we go. Is that anti-reflective glass?
No,
Oh,
this
okay.
one is. My friend and I went to the cheaper frame shop.
Ah.
Like I don't know the shop that I use now.
Oh, okay.
So I maybe have to reframe it. I don't know. What
Or
do you
just
think?
replace the glass. I love the frame on it. It matches the look. So can you hold it up a little closer again, babe? I just want to say, guys, one of the things you can't really see here is the depth, the sort of 3D value to this. Like, this comes off the fabric quite a bit, and
So it's pop like 2D.
yeah. And one of the things that I think is really interesting, well, not so interesting, but that I know...
So like anyone want to see it real, you can visit the studio and come to take a close look.
But this one, I know for a fact, was very painful for Jib, despite its small size, because of the thickness of the thread.
Yeah.
And like when Jib was working on this, was the point where it was, you were actually sticking your fingers were like getting the needles in your fingers. So yeah, this just came back from being on display. So we're gonna hang this up over the door. I'll actually get that done today before we go out to film. Really cool. Do you want to show Joe's update? Or do you want to show the pillow first?
Okay.
Up to you. So she also brought back one of her practical pieces that was on display as well. And so I think we'll take a look at that. Yeah, we'll do the pillow. Wrapped in plastic to protect it from dust. Up to you. Let's see.
Because I give it to mom that she can like put it at home.
You want to cut the plastic? No. Is that Oh, so mom's going to take this one home?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like put in the living room.
So this is actually a pillow that Jib sewed as well.
So it's like I want all the piece has meaning. So
Yeah.
I make it for mom or for dad or for you.
Ah. So here we go. I'll hold the plastic. So this is another piece that Jib embroidered when she was at the academy studying traditional Thai embroidery. Very, very nuanced fades on the flower there. Quite nice.
It's like my teacher said to embroider like color like this, it has to be at least 5 shade of pink.
Quite
Like
a bit.
in like one flower. So for green, this is like 4 green, 4, and then 2 brown. And this is another like
Yellow or
5. It's like green and yellow.
green?
Yellow, green, green, yellow. I don't know which one start with. Yellow, green,
Yeah.
green, yellow, whatever. But
And-
it's like in like one space, it has to be at least 5 turn.
I think the nice thing about painting is that projects come together much quicker. Whereas I can
Is
remember,
it?
I remember when you were working on this, the flower
Months.
just for the flower.
Yeah.
So, like the painting. Let's show Joe's update because okay, we'll hold this here. I'll take. We'll put on Jib's seat. The one of the things that I really know is that Jib's work in painting, like the projects progress so much quicker, and take form much quicker. Obviously, the level of or the amount of work required for each section is one, less painful, and two, a lot less. So here's the update on Joe's piece. So you can see most of, what do you call this? The design, the pink design in the back.
Huh?
These, what do you call this? Filigree?
Like how?
Okay.
It's like a ivy.
I think usually I've heard the word filigree used quite
What
a bit.
filigree?
It's just like background filler.
Yeah, but this is like get the design from the nature, like ivy got
Okay.
like go around stuff.
Yeah.
So this is like that.
And then you can see some of the pants are done on the two combatants. And
So the
ground
yellow
is-
that you see will be gold.
Okay, so anywhere there's yellow will be
Yeah.
actual gold?
Yeah.
Okay,
Gold leaves on.
nice.
And I will paint the body color today, and then this will be gold, gold, gold.
Oh, so the crowns will be gold as well.
Gold, yeah, gold, gold. Gold here.
So will he be
too.
able to
Gold.
roll the gold?
Huh?
Will he be able to roll the gold?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it's thin.
Okay. Yeah,
But I
so
think his luggage must be big enough to put like this in.
possible.
Flat will be good.
Very cool. So yeah, all the art's coming along. So Jib's been very busy. A couple like 2 a.m. nights for Jib, which are on. How do you do on the days that you stay up till 2? How do you do the next day at school?
Just wake up and go to school.
Because I imagine Jib wakes up at 5 still to go to school, even if she goes to bed at 2. So quite difficult days.
So have to wake up and catch the bus and sit there and work at school. And just sleep. Like take a nap in the bus, I would say.
Callan says the original Lifetime Elite visas were insane. Airport limo pickup,
Yeah.
country club access. Nice. Sounds like a good deal if you had the cash. I would try any Thai food you offer me, including durian and bugs. Hey,
Yeah,
bugs aren't bad.
good.
Durian's great.
Come here and walk with me to market.
New Zealand food is generally anything from anywhere: Indian, Chinese, Thai, Vietnamese, Mexican, more like Tex-Mex. Traditional stuff is few and far between. We've made a lot of our own though. Okay. So what's a traditional New Zealand dish? Twiggy says I eat to survive too. I can eat anything. Okay. Joe says 2 years ago I gave my cousin's kids from London homemade biscuits and sausage gravy. They said it looked like a stone and baby puke. They loved it. So biscuits and gravy is like a very southern dish, babe. And it's like a biscuit, right?
Yeah.
Like a flaky layered biscuit with like a white cream gravy on top. Usually has like bits of meat in it. And you pour that over the biscuit and eat it. Kind of like pancakes and syrup. You know what I think food-wise, the biggest difference I've always noticed between, one Duturo says Thai food in UK is not the same flavor-wise. For sure. In America, too. Like, there's nothing in America that tastes like real Thai food.
Do you miss Thai food? Like real Thai food?
In the West, like, breakfast is the biggest difference for me. Like, between here and America. Like,
There is one more piece I would like to show.
oh, Jib wants to show another piece. But one thing, like, if in America, I don't know about Europe, but in the U.S., like, breakfast tends to be very sweet and heavy, where here, breakfast tends to be very savory and light, which I tend to enjoy Thai-style breakfast a lot more. Like, a lot of places you can go, they'll have soup for breakfast, or it'll be something, like, hot and not so sweet, more savory. I find that to be a much more enjoyable breakfast for me. Pineapple lumps are culinary genius. What is a pineapple lump? I need to know. Keone says he's eating hoo-hoo, grubs, kanga piru, fermented corn. Fermented corn is basically bourbon. Is that what we're saying? I've had fermented corn. In TT, mutton bird. In New Zealand, all Maori food, all good, at least to me. Okay. Yeah, I think fermented corn is basically bourbon.
Can't find it. Maybe Mom already packed it in her bag.
Oh, possible. Lots of seafood for cheap if you can be bothered catching it. 120 kilometers or 75 miles is the most inland point here, so everyone is close enough to the ocean. Nice. Yeah, being able to get good seafood is always a nice thing.
Huh? Good seafood?
I'll let you read this comment, babe.
Joe. I would say when you come here, we should spar a little bit. I will use like a Muay Thai room with you.
Amazing Maori cuisine here, and it's having a resurgence. Nice. 10-pack of chicken nuggets on top of my pad thai.
Hefe. When you come here, I will treat you with the convection pizza, the hot pot on my
The
side.
hot pot pizza made with white bread.
Yeah. And I make you eat it.
Still better than Neapolitan. Mayonnaise instead of pizza sauce. Yeah, with the elite, you get 1 year stamp on entry that you can extend. Okay. I also think the grammar of Thai is easier than that of English. Yeah, I think so. I think
Okay.
it's much more simple.
Okay.
A lot more forgiving. I'm going to try and get the O visa with the ability to leave the country and re-enter 3 months in Thailand, 3 months here. Mine's an O, right? Non-O? Is a marriage visa?
What is that called?
Non-O. I think mine's a non-O.
What
The
O
marriage
mean?
visa. The marriage visa is a non-O.
What is O?
Oh, it's just, I don't know. It just stands for marriage. Other. There's B, non-B for business, and non-O for marriage. I think teachers get a special visa as well. I think it's different than a B. I think it was $1 million back then. I was considering it myself. You see someone selling their lifetime elite in the elite Facebook group a few times a year when it's sold. So when they sell it, so it's not transferable as a lifetime. Damn. Very skilled, Jib. I would agree. Jib's
Thank you.
very talented.
So like teacher joked me that he said, "Oh, this a beautiful embroidery, very nice color shading," and he said, "Why don't you do the same with your painting?" It's like it's like
Pain.
"Oh." And he said, "Oh, I'm joking." I was like, "Oh, teacher, that's hurt."
But the fades aren't as in traditional Thai painting. The fades aren't as prominent.
Not really.
Yeah. Joe was at a flea market and a Thai woman grabbed my ass and said to me, "Kiao," and smiled at me.
Huh?
I was wearing my gym shorts and my T-shirt said I worked out because I want to
Man
look
kiao.
good naked.
Man kiao. So it's like man kiao is like you would like to bite something, like, or like if you see like a toddler, like a big cheek, or like, oh, man kiao, and you like to squeeze that cheek, or you want to kiss the cheek like that, or the chubby kid with like a big butt, it's like man kiao, like to like squeeze the butt, like
So-
I mean the young that wear
Joe
like
said
diaper.
She squeezed his butt. And
I
said,
know.
"Monkey."
So same thing
Were you
with
wearing
adult.
your adult diaper, Joe?
I think adult like doesn't mean diaper. That
Sometime
type.
when you get older. Different
Uh,
diaper.
Okay.
Well, same reason, different size. I think you can get the O visa outside of Thailand, but would need to get it changed to OA visa. I have no idea. The multi-entry is different than your visa, right? So the multi-entry is basically like a different aspect of your visa you have to apply for separately. I haven't traveled in so long. I used to always by default just apply for a multi-entry every year with my visa. I think it's like $5,000 for a multi-entry. And now, like, I haven't left Thailand so long, I don't even get a re-entry permit at all because I'm probably not going to leave. So if I were to leave, I would just go and get a single entry because I don't travel anywhere near as much as I used to. Joe loves his painting.
Thank you, Joe.
It's coming along. I would say you think it's probably just like a few weeks from being done.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He wanted to know what it meant. We already answered.
Yeah.
One tutorial likes the patterns, Jib. Gotta run, have my army to attend to on Threads.
Huh?
He's going on Threads. It's like the Twitter replacement. Threads is like the Facebook version of Twitter. Now that Twitter is like basically the Wild West of social media.
I don't understand. I know Elon Musk owned it.
Yeah, now they
And
call it
then what?
X.com.
What X? Huh? It's Twitter.
Yeah, but Elon like changed it to X.
Oh, just change the name
Yeah.
of that application to X?
And now if you go to X.com, it goes to that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Hey, have a good one, tutorial. Thanks for swinging by. Hey, Gator Jake, late to the party, but hey, I'm here. Hey. How's Florida? We were talking about Florida earlier, Jake. I was saying that most of what Jib knows about Florida comes from me sending her Instagram posts. Mostly from the Florida Man Instagram account. Need to get back on my other Twitter account. Twitter's weird now, man. It's like I still use it. I still jump on all the time, but it's such a weird place now, and like everything's changing, and they changed to X, and now it's black instead of blue. It's weird. Yeah, I work out because I want to look good naked shirt that Joe was talking about. I may just try to work with an agent when I get there in November. It definitely streamlines the process, Eric. Oh, Twiggy's in Laos.
Ah.
Interesting.
I
Having
heard
fun?
that they have a good coffee and bakery.
Yeah, I heard that the coffee in Laos, like the cafe is pretty good. But everyone I know who's been to Laos said it's like very undeveloped. Like roads are dirt. Like it's not.
It's like old time Thailand.
Yeah. Joe, you can eat 5. Five's a lot, man. Like that's gonna 5 ghost chilies. 5. That's a lot of ghost chilies, my man. Oh, Eric, thank you very much for the super chat, man. For Jib's Thread Fund.
Thank you.
I'll wait to see if it pops up on the screen. It's supposed to
So
automate.
like mean for embroidery? Is that thread fun? Mean?
Yeah, Thread Fund. Oh, here it is. It did pop up. Yeah, Thread Fund, like to buy.
Thank you.
I think Jib might be traumatized by basically 2 years of embroidery work, though.
No, I would like to do it again, but I mean like now
You would like to, but with your fingers.
I will develop the
Callus.
yeah again.
Yeah. Jib,
Now like my fingers soft.
she used to get the needle stuck in the calluses on her fingers and be like, oh.
And like on Friday when I met teacher, like to get this work back, she said, "Oh, do you know like all student like they said your work's great. They like it's amazing. It's like oh my god, it's so nice words to hear.
Nice.
Like they say like they saw my work because it's shown in the room.
Yeah.
It's like oh it's they surprised that in my batch we work hard and we make a beautiful piece. Like oh so happy. And now my painting, the one that I gave you,
Yep.
but I borrow it back to
Mhm.
school. So teacher gonna show it on Monday again.
Nice.
Like
So back on display.
yes, because no one gave the piece
Mm.
for school to show. It's just like all like from I don't know how many years ago. This is a fresh one that look new. Like okay,
Wow.
just fresh paint. So if you're not hurry to hang it, I will just let teacher borrow it, show
Yeah.
it again and again, and it will be in the folder of anyone who take it. It's
Nice.
like, okay.
Yeah, leave it on display. We can hang it in the house when it's done.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. It's all good, Twiggy. Where are we at? End of November. Okay, Joe. So keep pushing it back, but still going to make it, so that's good. Florida man is real. If you throw a live alligator through a Wendy's drive-through window, you're a different kind of human.
No.
I showed you that video, right? The
No,
kid.
you told me
Oh.
what he did, but it's like, that's not nice.
Definitely not nice.
Even the staff is his friend, but it's words that he's not.
Imagine being like, oh yeah, I thought my friend was working, so I threw a deadly animal through the window.
It's not nice for the hygiene.
That's the type of friends
the
I have
restaurant.
too, though. They'd be like, yeah, I threw a monitor lizard through the window.
And then he's not gonna be my friend anymore.
Joe just sent me a picture. All right, let me take a look. Twiggy says, yes, it looks like Thailand in the past.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's interesting to think that what Joe sent me. Dill's Pizza. Dildo. Dill's Pizza. Would that not be a dildo?
That's Joe.
Oh, yeah, I've seen this early onset. Yeah. Yeah, don't turn the volume up. I know what that one is.
Really?
Yeah. But I've seen I've seen pictures of Thailand from like the 60s and stuff where it was like really, even Bangkok in the 60s seemed more open. Seemed like, obviously not as developed, but even the roads seemed like bigger.
Bigger?
Like wider. Like everything seemed more, obviously far fewer cars, far fewer people in the city. It just seemed like
Maybe it's just not packed.
yeah, it
That's
seemed
why
like
you feel it's wider. Actually,
Yeah.
it's the same,
same maybe, yeah.
but it's just like not packed.
I mean, one of the things that I think is really interesting about Bangkok today, though, is the city feels like it's sort of at a crossroads in the sense that, yes, the city wants to be modern. The city wants to like have great public transportation. Like they've built the SkyTrain, the subway. They're expanding it. The canal boats. Like a lot of things are really unfolding in the city. At the same time, they feel like sort of trapped in this sense of making the city much more car friendly in a lot of ways. They're trying to do a lot of things that are car centric. And I find that like what's the right word? Conflicting, right? Because on one hand, like, yeah, they're making the city more accessible, easier to get around. And on the other, they're trying to make it much more open for people to own cars and travel in the city by cars, which is hurting the air quality, hurting the breathability, the livability for other citizens. So it's interesting. And
That's why I never own a car. I'll try to take a bus.
even when I ride my bike, like you'll see, like even the traffic laws are written in a way that favors cars over smaller transportation. If you can get around the city by bus or by BTS or subway, MRT, that's great. But in the last mile, like transport options, like the ability to go from the station to where you want to be, is generally pretty good. You can jump on a motorcycle wind for 20 baht, go down a side so
Yeah, almost of every soil have it. Like
get a songtail when you need to. Yeah.
bigger soil will have songtail, but like small soil you'll have like motorcycle in front. Unless like my family house, it's like no, nothing. You have to walk.
No win either, right?
No.
And Jake,
it's
thank
too
you very
small.
much for the super chat, man. For Jib's embroidery thread fund, promoting
thank
creativity.
you.
Cheers from the swamps, OG Auntie. Thank you, Jake. Much appreciated. Also, you guys, for all the channel members, I threw up a poll on the community tab for channel members only, asking about the channel member badges. If you want Jib to do a redesign, or if you want or if you want to keep the same ones. And so far, it's 100% vote for a change. So, Jib, you got to do a redesign for the channel badges.
To what style?
Up to you.
Yeah.
Maybe traditional Thai style.
Okay.
Oh, show your wallpaper too. Wallpaper. Show your wallpaper. So Jib took one of her art pieces and turned it into the wallpaper for the phone. Let me see if we can get it. Oh, it's too bright.
Yeah.
But,
or you want to put it for Patreon?
Yeah, maybe we'll throw this up on the Patreon for Joe. Joe's the only patron, but yeah. So Jib was making digital wallpapers from some of her art for the phone.
Yeah,
so.
from a real painting, I just crop it.
So quite interesting. I like it. Actually, a few people have noticed that on my phone already as well. Grandson has the same sippy cup as Jib. Oh, the
Kudetama.
Kudetama. Gudetame.
Kudetama.
This is how old I am. My first trip to Thailand, there was no AC at Dam Myong. Big fans and geckos on the walls.
What?
It was great. I was a teenager.
Wait. No AC at Don Muang?
So
What time is that? Like 1940? Sorry, but
probably
I remember always AC when I visit Don Muang.
So maybe the 60s?
Big fan and gecko on the wall.
My first trip to Asia in 2004, I don't think there was AC at the airport in Cambodia.
So I think you might be same age as my dad. Are you in your 70s?
It was in the 70s. I see.
Like, I mean your age, like 70s? What Joe
Oh,
want?
Joe wants the wallpaper. Yeah, we'll throw it up in.
What size of phone? Or throw like full size and he just crop it?
Yeah, we'll put the. What phone do you have? iPhone, Joe? Yeah, so it was in the 1970s.
1970 or he in his 70s?
No, it was in the 1970s. He posted that before you asked how old he was.
So he in 70 years old?
No, it was in the 1970s that he visited.
Okay, so that's before I was born.
Possibly.
Okay, because I was born in
He's
1981.
60. What's that say? 69.
Is that?
69. Turned 70 in Bangkok in January. Nice.
Oh, he younger than my dad.
So he came in the 70s. No aircon in the airport in Dam Myong. So it's funny when I first came to Asia, 2002 maybe or 2004, I can't remember. I went to Cambodia. There was no aircon at the airport, and we had to walk from the runway into the terminal.
Walk?
Yeah.
No shuttle?
There was no
No coach?
What do they call it? The bulkhead to connect it. There was none of that. So I flew from Singapore to Cambodia. The plane lands on the runway, and then they roll up the stairs, and you walk down and into the terminal. And then they've just got fans everywhere, and you just wait in line to get your visa. Yeah. That was in the 2000s. So I'm sure they've got aircon now, I hope. It's such a hot place. Samsung Galaxy A53 5G. You got an iPhone, Joe. It will figure out the aspect ratio. It's probably a bit longer. Let's see.
Okay.
Also, it was early 70s. The Vietnam War was going on. You flew right over it for real. Damn. So war was going on, 1970s. You flew right into Thailand.
Okay.
So Eric, were you flying like on vacation, or what? Were you serving in the military in Vietnam and flew over on R&R?
Oh.
Because that's how my father first came to Thailand, was on R&R from the Vietnam War.
Maybe you have sibling here.
Possible. Possible. They'd be older than me, so gotta be careful. Yeah, for sure. I was born in 78.
And that's what year?
I think he was in the late 60s when he was in Vietnam.
Okay.
Yeah. So would be a little older.
Maybe you have brother.
Or sister, half brother, half sister floating around Vietnam or Thailand. Possible. Very possible. I'm sure, like many American kids or from my generation, there's a potential that they have half siblings in that part of the world. Not impossible. They're building a big modern airport in Siem Reap. Really?
Siem
Makes
Reap.
sense. I mean, I believe at the time, it was, even in the 2000s, it was already an international airport because people could fly in direct from Japan and China to Siem Reap back in, 2000s. So, I mean, it makes sense. No, going to India to live with family friends who worked for the Peace Corps. I was never drafted, luckily. Okay, yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, I think it was like, so during the Vietnam War in America, they had a draft because there were not enough people signing up for the military.
What's draft?
Draft is like kind of like, the lottery to join the military here. It's the same thing.
Okay.
So they basically did a lottery and was like, okay, you're going to the military. You're not. You are. Yeah.
Lucky draw.
So my father told me, we rarely, before my father passed, we had very few conversations about military. Until I joined the Army, it was the first time that he really talked to me about his experience in the Army. But he told me, like, when he was drafted, at the time, it was illegal to be gay in the military. And that wasn't even when I was in, they had like don't ask, don't tell. So it still wasn't fully illegal or accepted, right? Very archaic laws. But he told me when he was drafted, like a lot of guys would show up and pretend to be gay to try to get out of military service. So they would show up wearing women's underwear or have their fingernails painted, or they would just like openly outright admit to like, they would say like, oh, I'm gay. And he said at the time, the doctors or the people who were doing the intake were like, oh, great, you'll love it in the Army, nothing but men. And off they went. Like, there was like, they just didn't care because they didn't have enough people. They were fighting a war with no manpower, a war that was very unpopular, people didn't agree with politically. And it made it difficult to get people to want to serve their country. And so, yeah, they would just take anyone, basically. Like one leg, good enough.
Oh.
Looking forward to seeing the Barbie movie. I've heard visually. I've heard that the Barbie movie was amazing. Like, I've heard, like I saw a bunch of stuff online where people like commenting about like messaging and stuff like that. Like conflicting from both sides. It seems like people have like very vastly different interpretations of it, but essentially everyone agrees that the movie is a masterpiece as well, like on the same level as Oppenheimer as far as like directing and storytelling and visuals. It created a very unique world. Oh yeah, it was their opening night. Amazing. Nice. Yeah, I've heard nothing but good things about the Barbie movie. From a creative perspective. Had the draft for Vietnam and Australia too. Really?
Wait, in Australia?
Well, I think anytime America goes to war, Australia kind of gets drug in with them.
But
because they're very close allies.
Different continent, and the war may not arrive to Australia.
No, but Australia politically is very. It almost seems fairly more closely tied to America than the UK.
Okay.
Especially militarily.
Okay.
But now economically very tied to China. Gator Jake says he got some crazy stories to share with you from a military mentor who served in the silent war, Laos and Cambodia, as well as Thailand. Oh, yeah, we should, next time you're here, definitely should discuss that because that's a topic I want to do a documentary on. Nice. Well, from what I know of that, you doing what you do is a very similar overlay in that regards, right? From a action and logistic perspective. You have the urge to get an all pink wardrobe now. I was like the Aussies that I've met in Asia and here too. Yeah, a lot of cool Australians that I've met here as well. Um, like I think like for the most part, like Australians are much more likely to come to Asia. It seems like for them, like Bali's like a weekend trip.
Oh, it's closer.
Yeah, it's very close for them, right? And like a lot of them that come to Thailand seem to really enjoy it. Oh, his next video is about Barbie. Nice.
Ah,
Very cool. Did you see Bobby and Oppenheimer same day? That'd be interesting. Like a lot of people did that. They went like to one in the morning and one at night.
it's a whole day.
Yeah.
A movie.
It's funny like when you see like so many people felt like divisive about Barbie as a movie. Like I don't like I don't know like people who never saw it have an opinion on it.
Never saw it. Has an opinion on it.
Yeah,
That's weird. You
right?
should watch it before you have opinion
It
about
feels like
it.
a very American approach to a movie criticism. Don't watch it but have an opinion on it.
That's weird. So whatever you say it, like they cut it short for promote it, maybe
Yeah.
it's just something, and there's a more thing in the movie that you can get when you watch it.
Oh, I think I know who you're talking about, Jake. Eric was staying at the Malaysian hotel in Nang Dufli
Malaysia
when the
hotel in
American mission to Cambodia was evacuated in '75. All the press stayed there.
Nam Du Pli.
Nam Dupli,
It's the name of the road. Nam Du Pli.
maybe. When the mission to Cambodia, American mission to Cambodia was evacuated in '75. Yeah, it's crazy how like America has all this involvement in Asia, and like very little responsibility is taken for it. You know, it's an interesting thing. All right, clear that. I'm a channel. Hey Jib, I'm a channel. Durgai, I'm a channel. Looks like Farsi or Arabic on the.
That's our Indian god.
Oh, is
Is
it?
it?
No, I'm saying these
No, I
characters
mean
here.
like the photo.
I don't know what
This looks
that
like
is.
Indian style, like flower. Look like Indian.
Maybe. Where you from, Durgai? Senior Frank, there's a trans actress playing a Barbie, but if you didn't know that specific actor, you wouldn't know that. But when you have to think about the children, you have to tweet. Is there a trans actress playing a Barbie? Okay. I mean, Barbie's a doll, right? It's a movie based on a doll. Who cares? None of them had parts anyway, right? Did you see it yet, Frank? From Malaysia. Nice.
Ah,
We're in Malaysia. We spent a lot of time there. I spent a lot of time there. Jib's been a few times with me. Indian God. Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Nice.
Here in like we have some that cross over for Ganesh. Like have an elephant head and a little bit chubby body,
Yeah.
and
I saw a Ganesh amulet at the at that mall, the vintage mall. Yeah.
so we have many god that like are in Thai painting, but it's look different from Indian painting, but they have the same name, but just different like look.
Okay. Frank did see Barbie. Didn't change his world, but he enjoyed it. Yeah. Did you feel outraged about the trans Barbie, Frank? The children. Too funny. Oh, this says his granny is from Thailand. Nice.
Yeah, nice.
So are you from like northern Malaysia, like on the border there? Because that's our friend Good was talking about. Like, remember she talked about that little island area where it's like a Buddhist temple in Malaysia. I've never been to that part of Malaysia. If you're from there, it'd be interesting. But yeah, I've always found that really like those border areas to be cool. Can't wait for the Barbie Celebrity Pizza Company Pink Cheese Pizza.
Pink cheese. Oh,
Pizza company would do something like that, for sure.
it sounds like some type of fungi on it.
If you want to do a documentary on the wars in Southeast Asia, I'd be glad to. Absolutely, Gator Jake. Let's have that conversation. Absolutely. Yeah, Ganesh is their god. Yeah, I used to know a Indian girl from AIT, right next to Thammasat, who worshipped Ganesh, and she had like certain things that she would do. Twiggy says, during Vietnam War, my mom carried me in her womb in 1972 and ran underground to avoid the bombs. Luckily, the plane changed direction. Otherwise, I would not hear. Wow. That's, it's wild to think about. Like, imagine being born like during a war, like just like the things going on around, right? Like the whole world. When you live in a war zone too, I imagine like the world just must feel like it's imploding around you, right? Like everything's so violent and like destructive for like moments, and your life can go from. Your life can go from reality, from like normality to this violent reality in a second, right? It's got to be insane. I can't even imagine. And like, do you have memories from like, so 72, so like the war was kind of winding down. What are your like early memories like as from childhood, Twiggy? That's got to be like sort of like the Reconstruction period too, as well as like the transition in Vietnam, and so wild. What part of Vietnam are you from also, Twiggy? Just out of curiosity. Wow. You're 96 or your granny's 96?
I think
Granny, I think is 96, yeah. Good age. Old. Joe says, yeah, please join Joe at Patreon. Don't let him be alone. And we'll post up the wallpaper, the art wallpaper soon too over there as well. We got to go film today after the stream, so after that, well, Jib's got to eat after the stream so that I don't get murdered. But she did have a big breakfast with Mom, so maybe not. What'd you guys have? Like
Mushroom
toast?
soup.
Oh, it
With
smelled
toast.
like bready, like
Toast.
Oh, okay, yeah.
With the mushroom soup.
Okay. Senior, I felt outraged that I saw it at Embassy VIP and it cost 4,000 baht for 2 people. I knew that when making the purchase, but expected the buffet and drinks to be better. Frank. She spent her life in Malaysia, Penang, with my grandma. Okay, nice. Yeah, Penang's nice. I really like Penang. Probably, I'd say Borneo. Kota Kinabalu is still my favorite place in Malaysia.
Like it. Yeah, too.
Yeah, but Penang is like, is a cool, Georgetown, so cool. Mm-hmm. Remember Ferengi Gardens Cafe? Such a nice breakfast spot. Good sourdough. Oh, sorry to hear that.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, Twiggy, that's a wild story. I mean, insane. Jib ate before the stream because Mom is here this weekend.
Yeah, Mom woke up early to make the soup for me.
Mom's asleep. Actually, I think we're gonna wrap up. We're just pushing 2 hours now, so I think we wrap up and have a little bit of lunch, and then we're filming for another project today, embroidery. I like the king one. Actually, I'll hang that before we go today. We're gonna put that over the door, right? So, all right, guys. Thank you very much for rocking with us. As always, much appreciated. As I said, we're gonna have some lunch so that Jib does not get violent and hungry, and then go and film. So a lot to do. Oh, I see real quick. I just Twiggy was born in Hanoi
Hanoi.
but lived in Ho Chi Minh City since
Ah.
3 years old. Oh, nice. I've been to Ho Chi Minh. It's the only place I've been in Vietnam. Very interesting city. All right, guys. Thank you again for rocking with us. Have a great day, and we'll see you next week.